Maybe your life isn't so bad. You have a stable job, a cozy home, occasional trips, and some quiet weekends to relax. On the surface, everything seems fine, but sometimes, just one scroll through social media and that sense of contentment disappears. You see someone who just got promoted, a former classmate who started their own company, someone else living in a different city, showing off a new apartment or an expensive car, and suddenly, you begin to wonder, what am I really doing with my life? Why is everyone moving so fast while I feel stuck? That feeling isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, subtle, but it makes you feel like you're not enough, not smart enough, not successful enough, not special enough. So, in a world where everyone seems to be running, you start running too. But maybe, just maybe, you've forgotten the most important question. What are you running toward? And do you even want to get there? Comparison is natural. We all do it. But if you're not careful, it can slowly drain your confidence and joy without you even noticing. In this video, I'll share with you why we often feel like we're falling behind, even when we have so much. And more importantly, how you can break free from this invisible trap and start living more freely and peacefully. If you've ever felt this way, stay with me through the video. And if you find value in this content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might be silently struggling too. So, why comparison makes you suffer? You've probably felt like you're falling behind when you see others achieving what you want. But in reality, comparison isn't just about feeling like you're lacking. It can affect your self-esteem, self-perception, and even lead you off course. Let's take a look at 3 reasons why comparison makes you suffer. 1. Comparison hits your self-worth directly. Comparison is rarely fair. When you look at someone else's life, you usually see what they choose to show. Success, joyful moments, achievements, the highlights. But when you look at your own life, you see the unfinished parts, the messy days, the things you're still struggling with. You're not comparing whole journeys. You're comparing the best of them to the worst of you. And so, no matter how much you've done, your mind still whispers, "You're not enough." Over time, that whisper grows louder. Your confidence takes a hit. Your sense of worth slowly erodes. Until one day, you forget what you've achieved, and all you see is what you're lacking. 2. Social media is just a polished surface. Today, social media isn't just for connection, it's a stage. Everyone is performing, curating, posting the version of themselves they want the world to see. You scroll through perfect photos, promotions, dream vacations, toned bodies, million-dollar startups. But what you don't see are the sleepless nights, the burnout, the anxiety, the emotional toll behind the scenes. Reality is edited, filtered, and packaged as an inspiring story. But it's not the full story. The scary part, even though you know this, your brain still reacts as if everything you see is real. You see someone post about a new promotion, and you feel like you're behind. But you don't see that same person silently battling chronic stress or loneliness, and suddenly, your own life starts to feel dull, slow, or not good enough, even if, in truth, you're living with purpose and stability. 3. Comparison leads you off course. The most dangerous part of comparison isn't that it makes you feel bad, it's that it can steer you off your path. When you constantly watch others succeed in something, you start to doubt your own direction. You think, am I doing the wrong thing? Even if you once loved what you were doing. Bit by bit, comparison pushes you off track. Some people abandon what they were building, not because it was wrong, but because it didn't look as fast or glamorous as someone else's journey. Others switch paths, not out of passion, but simply because someone else seemed to win quicker. And so, you keep running from path to path, thinking the problem is your choices, when maybe the only thing you're missing is clarity from within. Comparison doesn't just make you feel lost, it makes you lose your own map. How to break free from the comparison trap. 1. Recognize when you're comparing. To break free from the endless loop of comparison, the first step is to recognize when you're actually doing it. Often, we don't notice immediately that we're comparing ourselves because these feelings arise so quickly and naturally. But once you can identify them, you can start to take control of your emotions rather than letting them control you. A simple yet incredibly effective self-reflection question is, why am I feeling inadequate right now? This might seem like a basic question, but when you truly stop and think about it, it can open up a whole new perspective. When feelings of inadequacy suddenly hit, instead of letting them take over, ask yourself, who am I comparing myself to? What is making me feel less than enough? Sometimes, just asking this question is enough to make you realize that this feeling is not the truth, but merely an instant reaction from your mind. Another helpful method is to write down the specific situations that make you feel less than. Try jotting down moments when you felt like you weren't enough. For example, when you saw a classmate succeed in their job, or when someone shared their luxurious life on social media. Don't hesitate to record these feelings. When you look back at them, you'll see that the feeling of being less than is not an objective assessment. It's a psychological reaction, and sometimes even a cognitive distortion. Recognizing that the feeling of inadequacy is just a reflexive mindset, not an objective truth, is a crucial step. This means that what you feel isn't always an accurate reflection of the reality of yourself or others. It's just a fleeting feeling that we often let dominate our minds without stopping to question whether it truly reflects reality. In fact, everyone has their own journey, and comparing yourself to someone else only leads to exhaustion and disappointment. 2. Compare yourself to yourself, not to others. One of the most effective ways to break free from the comparison trap is to compare yourself to yourself, not to others. When you only look at other people and feel like they're moving faster, achieving everything you dream of, it's easy to fall into feelings of inadequacy and failure. But if you shift your perspective and start comparing yourself to your past self, you'll realize that you're on the right track, even if the pace is slow or not perfect. What's important is to recognize your progress. Instead of only focusing on what you haven't achieved, look at what you've accomplished, no matter how small. You might not have hit every goal last week, but when you look back over a month or a year, you'll see that you've made significant progress. That's the sign of personal growth and development. One simple and effective way to track this progress is to write down 3 things you've improved each week, no matter how minor they may seem. It could be finishing a new lesson, learning to manage your time better, or even spending a little more time on self-care. Writing it down will help you clearly see the changes and the steps you're taking toward improvement. This not only helps you recognize progress, but it also helps boost your self-esteem. Whenever you feel like you're not good enough, just look back at what you've written, and you'll realize you've come a long way. Those small achievements are more valuable than any comparison to someone else. More importantly, when you compare yourself to yourself, you no longer feel the pressure to achieve what others have. You focus solely on your personal growth, which will give you the motivation to keep moving forward without feeling like you're falling behind. 3. Redefine your personal success standards. One of the reasons we fall into the comparison trap is because we are chasing success standards set by others. Society often associates success with specific things, like a mansion, luxury cars, or building a $1 million startup. But is that really the success model that suits you? No one is forcing you to have a mansion, luxury cars, a $1 million startup, or live as a digital nomad in Bali to feel successful. These may be the goals of others, but they don't have to be yours. Success is something that you can define for yourself based on your own values and personal goals. Don't let society or others around you define your success. True success is living according to what you believe in, and the values you hold dear. It could mean spending time for yourself, with your family, engaging in personal hobbies you love, or simply feeling peaceful and content with what you have. Simple way to redefine your personal success is to set goals that matter most to you. Instead of just following what others are doing, think about what makes you happy and fulfilled. Success doesn't always have to be something grand or glamorous. It could be small things like having a stable job, staying healthy, or simply feeling at peace with your life every day. When you set your own success standards, you will no longer feel pressured to keep up with this person or outdo that person. You will learn to live true to yourself and find happiness in simple things, rather than constantly chasing goals that don't align with who you are. 4. Filter the information you receive. In the digital age, we are constantly bombarded with information, especially from social media. We easily access the images, stories, and lives of others. However, not all information is beneficial for your personal growth. One of the ways to break free from the comparison trap is to filter the information you receive. One of the first steps you can take is to unfollow accounts that make you feel less than or not good enough. These accounts may belong to people who constantly show off their luxurious lives, achievements that you feel you can't attain, or unrealistic images that make you feel left behind. While no one forces you to follow these accounts, constant exposure to these images will easily make you feel disappointed and insecure. By unfollowing these negative sources, you will feel lighter and reduce the pressure to keep up with others. Instead, follow people who provide genuine inspiration, those who share their real journeys without embellishment or exaggeration. These individuals may have gone through failures, struggles, and challenges, but they persisted and found success through continuous effort. This not only helps you realize that success is a long journey, but it also makes you feel less alone in the difficulties you are facing. By absorbing information from positive and authentic sources, you'll boost your motivation and maintain your self-confidence as you develop yourself. You will no longer feel pressured to live up to an ideal of success that doesn't truly align with you. 5. Practice gratitude and abundance. One of the simplest but most effective ways to break free from the comparison trap and the feeling of inadequacy is to practice gratitude. When you take time to acknowledge and appreciate the good things in your life, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. This helps you feel more fulfilled and content with what you possess instead of constantly looking at what others have. A simple way to begin is to spend a few minutes every morning or evening writing down 3 things you're grateful for that day. These could be small things like a delicious meal, quality time with family, or a task you completed well. When you do this every day, you gradually develop the habit of seeing life through a more positive lens. The benefit of practicing gratitude is that it changes the way your brain operates. Instead of always focusing on what you lack, you'll begin to notice the things you already have and be thankful for them. This reduces the feeling of scarcity and increases contentment with your current life. You no longer feel envious or inadequate when you see others' successes because you've recognized the value of what you already have. Practicing gratitude not only reduces feelings of scarcity, but also helps you nurture a more positive and joyful mindset in life. Whenever you feel like you're not enough or falling behind, simply look back at the things you've noted, and you'll realize that you actually have a lot to be thankful for. Life is not a race between you and others. Everyone has their own path, their own rhythm. What matters is not being better than anyone else, but feeling content and happy with yourself. When you stop comparing, you'll realize you already have everything you need to live a meaningful life. Remember, happiness and success are not measured by surpassing others, but by your own progress each day. Start today. Stop looking at others and instead focus on yourself with gratitude and love. You don't need to be better than anyone else to feel enough. Keep moving forward, whether slowly or quickly, as long as you're on the right path and living true to yourself. If you've ever fallen into the comparison trap, today is the day to start changing. Share with us one thing you're grateful for, and together, we'll build a community of abundance and happiness, step by step. Live your life. No one can do it better than you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. Together, we'll continue the journey of growth and create a better life every day.